You're standing in a dinner party, glass in hand, small talk happening all around you, and someone brings up their investment portfolio. And just like that, your stomach drops. Because while everyone around you seems to have figured out the money thing, the 401k, the index funds, oh, we're just focused on building wealth right now energy, you're quietly realizing that you slept through that lesson. Maybe you were surviving your 20s. Maybe debt ate your 30s alive. Maybe life just happened. Kids, divorce, a job loss, a medical bill that nuked your savings before you even had savings worth nuking. Whatever the reason, you started late, and you've been carrying that shame like a backpack full of rocks ever since. Beat music shifts slightly. More intentional, focused. Here's what I need you to hear before we go another second. Half the people at that dinner party are faking it. Half of them are performing financial confidence to hide the same anxiety you're feeling right now, or to mask the debt they've buried so deep they don't even open those statements anymore. So this video is not for them. This is a rescue mission for you. And we're going to throw out every 1980s benchmark about where you should be, because this is your 2026 survival guide, built for where you actually are, right now, today. Let's go.
Why your 40s are your superpower decade. Let me tell you the thing that nobody tells late starters. The thing that financial media buries under guilt and shame and you should have started sooner energy. Your 40s are actually a superpower decade. No, seriously, stay with me. Yes, you missed the early years of compounding. The 22-year-old who dumped $100 a month into an index fund and forgot about it, that's real. That head start matters. I'm not going to lie to you. But here's the mathematical truth that changes everything. Let's run the numbers side by side. Take a passive early starter, someone who began investing at 25, puts in $200 a month and never really accelerates, feels responsible, feels ahead of the curve, debt's comfortable. Now take you, starting at 40 but you're locked in, you're putting in $1,500 a month. Assuming a 7% average annual return, the early starter at 25 with $200 per month retires at 65 with roughly $525,000. You, starting at 40 with $1,500 per month, retires at 65 with nearly $950,000. You nearly doubled their outcomes starting 15 years later. How? Because your 40s represent something that 22-year-olds simply don't have, the intersection of peak earning power and expense stabilization. Your income is higher than it's ever been, or it's about to be. Your kids are getting more independent. Your lifestyle, while not cheap, is no longer expanding at the rate it was a decade ago. You know what you actually need versus what you used to think you needed. The early starter had time. You have intensity. And intensity, applied over 25 years, wins. The question isn't, can I catch up? The question is, am I ready to move as it matters? Here is what I want you to do. Write down your current monthly income and your current monthly retirement contribution. We're going to need both numbers. Be honest, no judgment, just math. Stopping the bleeding. Before we talk about building wealth, we have to talk about the money that's already leaking. Because most people I talk to think their cash flow problem is an income problem, when it's actually a visibility problem. I call this the Marcus method, named after a client I worked with who swore up and down he had $0 to save. His take-home was decent, but every month it just evaporated. No idea where it went. We conducted a comprehensive audit of his transactions over the past 90 days. Every single one. You know what we found? 2 streaming services he hadn't opened in 7 months. A gym membership for a gym he drove past but never entered. 3 subscription boxes, supplements, snacks, and honestly, a mystery box of random stuff going straight from mailbox to closet unopened. A cloud storage upgrade he auto-clicked through in 2021. An app subscription from a productivity phase that lasted exactly 2 weeks. $340 a month. That's $4,080 a year. That's a meaningful IRA contribution. That's gone. And here's the thing. Finding this money feels like getting a raise without doing any extra work, because it is a raise. It's your money. It's already yours. It's just being siphoned out of your account every month while you sleep by companies counting on your inertia. Your audit playbook. 1. Export 3 months of transactions from every bank and credit card account. 2. Highlight every recurring charge, subscriptions, memberships, auto renewals. 3. Cancel anything you can't remember choosing in the last 30 days. 4. Redirect every single dollar you find directly into a retirement account before you get used to having it. Don't have a conversation about it. Don't think about whether you really use that streaming service. Cancel first. If you miss it, it'll be there for $9.99, but I promise you won't miss most of it. Right now, after this video, download your last 3 months of bank statements and open a Google Sheet. Label one column Recurring Charges. You are going on a financial treasure hunt.
I want you to imagine you have a bucket, and every month you pour hard-earned money into it, trying to fill it up. Now imagine there's a hole in the bottom. That hole is high-interest consumer debt. And until you plug it, nothing else we do matters. Here's why this is non-negotiable. Think about that. When financial advisors talk about a safe return, they're talking about 6 to 8% over time from the market. High-interest credit card debt costs you 19 to 29% annually. That means every dollar you put into an investment while carrying $15,000 in credit card debt at 24% APR is statistically a losing trade. The market would have to return over 24% just for you to break even, and that doesn't happen consistently. So here's the mandate. Use the avalanche method. List every debt by interest rate, highest to lowest. Minimum payments on everything. Every available dollar goes to the top of the list. When it's gone, cascade that payment to the next one. Repeat until the slate is clean. And once it's clean, you do not celebrate by upgrading your lifestyle. You build the wall. A 3 to 6 month emergency fund, somewhere between $12,000 and $25,000, depending on your monthly expenses, sitting in a high-yield savings account. Not invested, not touched, just sitting there. This fund is not about money. It is about behavior. Because the reason most people go back into debt is not because they're irresponsible, it's that life hit them with a surprise and they had no buffer. Car breaks down? Charge it. Unexpected medical bill? Charge it. The emergency fund is a permanent barrier between you and the debt cycle. Build it, protect it, and don't touch it unless the house is actually on fire. List every single debt you carry, balances, minimums, and interest rates. If that number makes you feel sick, that's exactly why you need to see it clearly. A balance transfer card with a 0% intro APR may be your first move to stop the bleeding while you execute the payoff plan. You cannot save your way to wealth on a fixed income. I mean, you can, technically, but at $1,500 per month, you're already depending on a meaningful income to make those contributions. If you want to compress a 30-year journey into 25 or 20, you need to do more than cut costs. You need to attack the income side of the equation. And here's the rule that I want tattooed on the inside of your brain. Think about your industry right now. Think about who gets the raises, who gets headhunted, who gets called directly by a recruiter instead of sending applications into the void. It's not the person who's pretty good at a lot of things. It's the person who is the definitive answer to a specific, expensive problem. So your assignment is this. Identify the one premium skill in your field or adjacent to your field that would make you significantly more valuable. Then invest in the certification, the course, the credential, the coaching, whatever gets you there. Healthcare? Pursue a specialty certification that pays $20,000 more annually. Tech? A cloud or AI certification that makes you untouchable. Finance? Law? Marketing? Every field has its premium tier. Find yours. And when you get the raise, and you will get the raise, here is the most important financial discipline you will ever practice. Not half, not most of it, all of it. You were surviving on your old salary before. You can survive on it again. The raise didn't happen for lifestyle purposes. The only place it exists is in your brokerage account. This is called income anchoring. It is the single most powerful wealth acceleration tool available to mid-career professionals, and almost no one does it with full discipline. Search your industry's top 3 job boards right now for your current role, but filtered to the top 20% of salaries. What qualifications do those listings have that you don't?
That gap is your investment roadmap. The late-stage superpowers. Okay, now I want to tell you about the part of the IRS tax code that almost nobody talks about, because most financial advice is still written for people in their 30s. If you are 50 or older, the federal government has literally written legal superpowers into the tax code specifically for people in your position. They're called catch-up contributions, and they are exactly what they sound like. Here's how it works in 2026-2027, and for IRAs. That $7,500 catch-up contribution to your 401k alone, every single year from 50 to 65, compounded at 7%, that's an additional $190,000 plus in your retirement account from one number, one IRS provision that most people don't even know exists. And here's what makes this extraordinary. These contributions are either tax-deferred, traditional, or tax-free on growth, Roth, meaning not only are you stacking money, but the government is also subsidizing the stack. This is why I say the late starter doesn't just have a chance. The late starter, if aggressive, can outperform people who coasted through their peak earning years on cruise control. The window to use these superpowers is finite, maybe 15 years. But 15 years of maximum catch-up contributions applied with intensity is not a consolation prize. It is a legitimate path to a funded retirement. Log into your HR portal or 401k provider today. Find your current annual contribution election. Calculate what percentage increase would get you to the maximum, including catch-up if you're 50 plus. Even moving 2% closer is money the government literally helps you shelter. The close, velocity versus position. I want you to leave you with an idea that might be the most important thing I've said in this entire video. When most people think about retirement savings, they think about position, the number, the balance, the scoreboard. She has $400,000 saved. He has $80,000. And the assumption is always that a higher position equals better situation. But a position without velocity is a story that ends badly. Because here's the reality. One of those people is moving. The other one is coasting toward a cliff. The median retirement savings for Americans between 35 and 44? $45,000. $45,000. Which means if you've been thinking you're hopelessly behind, the data says you are probably closer to the median than you feel. And the median is fixable. The median attacked with intensity is winnable. You don't need to be where you thought you'd be by now. You need to be moving fast now with everything you've got. So here is your 48-hour challenge. Not a week, not when you have time, not once things settle down, 48 hours. Pick one of these. Log into your 401k and increase your contribution by 2% right now. Cancel one subscription you haven't used this month. Open a Roth IRA if you don't have one. It takes 15 minutes on Fidelity or Schwab. Pull up those 3 months of bank statements and start the audit. Just one small action that breaks the inertia. Because of the shame spiral around money, the avoidance, the "I'll deal with it when I'm more stable," that feeling is not a character flaw. It is a completely rational response to fear. But fear is not a financial strategy. You are not behind. You are mid-race, and you just decided to actually run. So go. Start tonight. I'll see you at the finish line. If this hit home, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Not to shame them, because you know how it feels to need the rescue mission and finally find it. Subscribe if you want more of this. Real numbers, real strategies, no fluff. And drop in the comments, what's your one action in the next 48 hours? Let's hold each other accountable. I'll see you in the next one.